I'm Julia. I'm from the United States, originally from Chicago. And a long time ago, I decided to live a wild life. So I came to Bulgaria, firstly because I wanted to live a wild life. And I have found that Bulgaria has so much natural resources, and it's a little bit farther behind the rest of the world in this robotic way of living. So I truly appreciate Bulgaria for the trust that the people have in the land and all of the magic that people still have in their hearts connected to the land. There's a lot of wild medicine knowledge here. So I came here because I felt like this was a good place for me to start this project, this ecological project.
So can you show us around a little bit?
Yeah, sure. This is the first year of the project. So I came here and all of the fruit was already here, but no one had worked with the property for 7 years. So first we'll show you this small vegetable garden. We wanted to keep a lot wild because also I love the wild medicine, and in Bulgaria there's so much wild medicine, and really you can survive here all through the winter on eating trees and plants, really. We decided to keep 1 hectare totally wild, and as you can see there's mulberries here, and then this whole vineyard here is really old, so I cut it this year, and let's see what comes back. Here is the vegetable garden, so we have tomatoes, peppers, and of course it's been really hot, so the tomatoes are having kind of a hard time, but the peppers are doing well. And I just try to have a garden so that I can have some nice homemade stuff, and it's always an experiment. So we put down seeds and we see what we get. So I also keep a compost, and I collect cow manure from the fields and then mix it with my compost. And I have a neighbor, Christina, a Bulgarian grandma who I just love, and she lives across the ravine from me. So we also trade seeds and trade plants, and she helps me a lot. And sometimes she gives me some chicken manure to add to my garden. And also she gives me fresh eggs because I don't have chickens here yet. So I really love to have the fresh eggs. So this is the small vegetable garden. And then here we go with the flowers. We have, of course, flowers for the bees and the butterflies, which is just making me so happy. So, and we have an echinacea here. This is only a 2-year-old plant, but after I'm going to collect seeds this year, and then next year I'd like to do more echinacea. I also really like that medicinal, and I use the whole plant, but the root is really potent for immune. So next year we'll have more echinacea. And then we have of course, strawberries and all these edibles. And let's see, we have some, like for instance, pennyroyal is in here. There's some hidden medicinals. I really love this medicinal. I don't know if you,
oh, what is this?
Really delicious. This is pennyroyal. It's a type of mint. And also, one of my passions is to help women understand that they can take control of their own fertility. I think that's really important, and it's really forgotten knowledge. Many young girls go on the birth control pill, which I think is a real problem in our world. So I really try to understand the knowledge about fertility and how to manage it and how to pay attention to your cycle and to use herbs to help with the birth control.
But how do you use them? Like you take them as
You can take a tea. For instance, this is a really great tea for let's say if you have a mistake or something like that and you're worried, you can use this tea. And with the herbal medicine, it's not so potent. It's not so strong. So it doesn't hurt the body, which is another reason why I really like using herbal medicine in general, because there's not so many side effects like the pharmaceuticals. So with a mixture of many herbs, this herb is really great for if you have a mistake or just for preventative. So this is one. And then also the wild carrot, which I already harvested. That's also a seed that you can take regularly for the birth control. So a lot of it is also awareness. So with the herbal medicine, I like that it also helps you pay attention to your body. I think the pharmaceuticals makes a disconnect between the people and the medicine, because they don't exactly understand what it's doing, and it works so fast that there's no connection with the actual medicine. But as we learned in the last years, you know, sometimes illness is inevitable. But if you keep a steady herbal practice, then you're much less likely to get really taken over by a virus or some kind of sickness. This is malva. I don't know. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, I love it.
And I don't have any flowers right now, I think, because oh, here's some flowers. Oh no, this is chicory. Sorry, this is chicory. Do we have, oh, here's malva flowers. So this is also great for coughs and throats, and also a very delicious tea. So I'm a really big fan of the wild medicines as well. I like to cultivate, but I also like to find in the wild, because I think that wherever a medicine comes up wild, it's the most potent. So of course we can cultivate, but if you can find it wild, I always feel that it's much better. And here's another one of my favorite medicinals. This is hyssop. I actually just gave Anna a tea of this, and the bees and the butterflies love it. And the smell, I'll just give you a little smell. Here we go. It's really, really amazing herb for the lungs. And I also find that if you start paying attention to the plants, you find that they really talk to you. And I feel that this is something we've also lost. And I think that our ancestors knew how to do this. They knew how to listen and talk with the plants and get the messages from the plants. And I really feel that this herb specifically is very good for negative emotions like guilt and shame. Okay. And I received this message as well from the plant. So I have continued to use it for sometimes, you know, if you're just feeling not so good, and I really feel that this raises the vibration. So there's a lot of plants like this that I think have vibration effects. And I think that, again, if we rewild ourselves a little bit, we can learn how to do this more and how to affect ourselves in a positive way with the plants. So I really honor this plant. I love her. I love her. I love her. So this is one of my favorites. A lot of people like to have their garden so perfect, but there's so many weeds that are that are really potent medicine. So I really encourage everyone to stop seeing plants as good or bad, or that you want them or you don't want them, because some plants that you didn't plant there can really be useful for you. And I also find, on the same line as the plants talking to you, I think that sometimes a plant will come up in your garden because you need it. So when you see a plant that you don't know, maybe just spend some time with it and see what it's telling you. And maybe it's telling you that it wants you to consume it or take it as a tea. And of course, in the summer is a great time for teas, and I dry for the winter as well, but I also make tinctures. And here in Bulgaria, we're very blessed because we have a lot of wild plum, and they make this wild plum into liquor. So I'm so blessed to be able to make homemade tincture from homemade liquor from fruits, which is really, really great, because also the vibration is higher than if you go and just buy a bottle of vodka or something from the shop. So I'm just so blessed to have homemade tinctures. Of course, I have the normals, the rosemary, thymes, oreganos, basils, these kinds of things. This is another wild medicinal that I learned, because also the Bulgarians, these grannies, these babas, they have all the herbal knowledge still. Whereas in Western Europe and in the United States, this knowledge is really lost. Yep. So I'm so grateful that these women here have this knowledge still. Like they call this another type of nettle. This is a plant that I didn't know before, and she said it has similar properties to nettle, except it's not the stinging one. So this is also another new one. And then this is, I don't know the name of it. I don't know the name of this bilki. They say herb or bilki in Bulgarian, but this is also a herb. And she said it's really good for immune, and it also a really nice taste, and it just a system tonic. So unfortunately, I don't know the name of this, but I apologize for that. Sometimes you don't need to know the name, right? And then this is another one. I don't know, Anna, if you eat
Yes,
this.
we
Yes,
have this.
okay. This is also something that comes up wild, and a
Yeah.
lot of people would say is weed and invasive, but so delicious raw and really nice in salads. And in a drought, when your lettuces aren't growing, if you want some fresh salad, you can just eat this. Never had before, and when I got to this property, I said, "What? We have pomegranates?" So this is a really special thing. So here we have a hazelnut, but as you can see, the climate is changing, and you can see that, you know, we're just not getting the rains we had before, and the heat is so intense. So plant trees, everyone, plant trees, plant. And then here, look, we have these pomegranates growing. This is so exciting. And the pomegranates, you can eat the fruits, but also they use the skin of the fruits as tea as well. Very delicious. A lot of antioxidants, a lot of vitamins. And you can also use the leaves. This is a beautiful, beautiful tree. And the flowers can also be used as tea and are really beautiful. So this is really exciting, the pomegranates, because this is a new thing for me. So I need to cut these down because another flush will come. And Melissa, I really, sometimes if I'm just feeling anxious, I'll just take some of this and just, and it just calms you down. I love the tea. This is also a great antiviral. So I have made, you know, sometimes people get these like herpes style around their lips. So I've made some lip balms with this, and it really helps with these cold sores that people get. So it's a really good antiviral for that. And usually I mix with a little bit of oregano. It's not so delicious, but it works. So also, this is really common here, this wild fennel. Delicious, really great for digestion. You can eat the seeds and the leaves, and this just grows back every year, and it grows wild all over Bulgaria. I really love this, really, really love this plant and the taste.
Yes.
We got a tangle here with the grapes. Whoa. So yeah, as you can see, everything's really dry. I try to water, but oh, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up. And then here we have the figs. Maybe we can give one to Anna. Is this one ready? No, not quite ready. But we can pick this one. So this is also another amazing medicinal tea. The leaves of the fig. Which I did not know this before I got to Bulgaria. But I saw in some shop they had fig leaf tea. And I said, what? The leaves? It's so delicious. So sweet. Such a potent tea and a lot of antioxidants. So this is also another medicinal that I learned, because, you know, the information that we get about a lot of things, usually they just use one part of the plant, or just the fruits, or just the leaves, or just the roots. And really it's like putting it in a box, because you can use almost everything. And I read somewhere that only 0.2% of plants are poisonous and the rest are edible. So I think we're brought up to think that we need to be afraid of the plants that we don't know. But I don't think that's actually true. I think we should be more brave. And like I was saying earlier about really listening to the plants, they'll tell you. They'll tell you if they're poisonous or if you shouldn't take them. And a couple times even, this might seem strange, but a couple times I have touched a plant and I've literally felt like an electric shock.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's actually an electric shock or just some kind of energetic signal, like don't touch me, don't use me. So if you experience something like that, just listen. Just listen. Because the plants can tell you what's going on. I mean, actually, we just recently had a beautiful volunteer from Berlin. She's half Lebanese, half Palestinian. And she came here and she cooked for me for a week. Thank you, Ella. And she used a lot of the grape leaves, and we made these dolmadi, and it was so nice to use the leaves of the grapes, and she showed me exactly how to do it. So I really love these volunteers. They teach me so many things.
So all this volunteering is part of your project?
Yes, part of my project. I've actually been a volunteer for 15 years. So now that I have my own place, I'm so happy to be able to host volunteers and give back to what's been giving to me, that my my whole traveling life, basically. So yeah, I invite volunteers here, and now I'm doing more creative residencies. So a lot of creators come here to have this peace, to be able to write or paint or dance or sing or make music, whatever they need to do. Because part of my mission, and this has kind of been an intuitive mission for many years, that I feel we need a network of sustainable properties, or properties where the people who are there are connected with nature, that we can work together and trade people over the next years. Like, for instance, me being able to send someone to a property where I know that they're going to be emotionally safe and ecologically safe, and that they're not going to have to deal with chemicals or pesticides. So I think that this network is really important for our future. And so I'm trying to develop this network wherever I go, and trying to find other people like Anna in this network, so that in the future, if we need it, we have each other, you know, because we all have kind of the same values when it comes to connecting with nature. Anna, you want to try?
Yes.
Oh, not bad. And then we have these, this acacia here is also, the flowers in the spring are really delicious. That's another part of this ecology, is kind of just accepting what the weather's doing and trying not to control it. Anna and I were just talking about this, because we can't control nature. So if we try to, it's probably just going to end up not being good for us. So these are more, this is a different variety. Oh, these are good.
So sweet.
This plant I really love, this perennial rucola. Do you have this, Anna, in your garden? This perennial rucola?
I don't have this.
Taste this, taste this. It's really spicy.
I love it.
Yes. And this grows back every year. A lot of people have this like rucola or arugula that comes back, or that doesn't come back every year, an annual. And it's delicious, but this one I think is more delicious, and it grows like an herb. Okay, so then we have some more hyssop here. We have some calendula here. This is, again, this I collect the petals, and I use it for also like wounds. It's also a great herb to use with pets. I do a lot of things with the pets. I also use natural medicine with my cat for everything. So it's very gentle. You can use it for babies, and it's really good for the skin and wounds. And then I just want to show you, this is a very special herb that grows, and they call in Bulgarian zdravets, which means health, basically. And this is wild geranium. This is also excellent for the skin. And smell this, Anna. It's really potent. The flowers are beautiful purple or white, and it grows wild all over Bulgaria. This is a very, very potent medicine. And the tea is, I think it's a little bit too perfumey for me, but it's very healthy and very good for the immune system. So we're so lucky in Bulgaria to have this zdravet. This is also, you can harvest the leaves, dry them for tea, or make a tincture. And they also have a lot of mountain herbs that don't grow here, but in the higher mountains, in the Rhodopes, there's also a lot of special herbal medicine and some amazing herbalists here. So Bulgaria is just a paradise for herbal medicine. Actually, when I was in Argentina, when I first got into herbal medicine, I was in Argentina. This was about 15 years ago. And I met this massage therapist, and he was working as the massage therapist for this like hotel I was volunteering at. And he was making his own lavender oil. And that was the first time I realized that you could make things out of plants. It kind of like woke me up. I said, oh, wow, that's amazing. And he showed me how, and he showed me what he did. So then I started paying more attention. I started looking, I started asking people, and I spent some time with different herbalists, just shadowing them, asking them questions, reading a lot. And then now I think it's just, now that I've done it for so many years, like I said, the plants kind of talk to you. So then sometimes I'll be looking for an herbal medicine in my mind. Like, I'm not actively looking, but it's in my mind. I want to find this plant, and then I'll just find it. Like this year I found shepherd's purse for the first time, which I had been wanting to find in the wild, and I didn't even know that it was in my garden. So this year I saw it, and I said, oh, I have it in the garden. And a beautiful herbalist came from Slovenia, a volunteer as well. She was hitchhiking to Iran, and she was doing a project on the different cultures and how they use the herbs.
Nice.
And she just came here for one night. She was hitchhiking. She came and she taught me about a lot of things in this area because
Wow.
I didn't grow up in Europe either. So this is all kind of new to me, you know?
Mhm.
So it's really sharing information between people is the best way to learn. And the people that are connected with the nature usually are really open about this knowledge and they want to share it and they want other people to know. Which is a great quality because if you have knowledge or if you have something, you should share it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really blessed to have met a lot of beautiful herbalists who have a lot of knowledge and share it really freely. So I try to do the same.
Thank you very much, Julia. It's been amazing, everything you've taught. So.
Thank you for being here and thank you for highlighting all this information and doing this important work, Anna.
Thank you.
We need it.
Nice.